There are a lot of video games based on the Back to the Future franchise, and it's probably the series on the NES that is, unfortunately, the most well known. But the one created by Telltale is the only one that I've ever really liked. Telltale Games, which imploded in 2018, spent years as the only major publisher of point-and-click adventure games. It's a genre that had been around for quite a while, but as game engines improved and GPU power increased, these sorts of games became less and less popular. So Telltale deserves a lot of credit for keeping the genre alive in the new millennium, and it definitely paid off for them when their 2012 game, The Walking Dead, became a massive hit. In fact, The Walking Dead became such a big hit for them that it still overshadows the rest of their catalog, which is a shame because they managed to publish a lot of other good games over the years, and Back to the Future, the game, is one of those that is often overlooked.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
When it was released in 2010, the reviews and reactions for Back to the Future were incredibly positive, to the point that a lot of fans of the franchise considered it to be like the fourth movie that never got made. Telltale is known for their good storytelling, and as a fan of Back to the Future myself, I wholeheartedly love the opening of this game. Like a lot of Telltale games, this one is broken up into episodes, and the plot of episode 1 picks up right where the third movie ended. Doc has gone on an adventure with his wife and kids, and the bank is selling off his assets in his absence. Through a series of events that admittedly feels very contrived, Doc has wound up trapped in the 1930s where he was framed for arson. And of course, Marty needs to help him escape. Unfortunately, the quality of the plot does decrease after that. Things start to become a bit silly, almost as if they were using scrapped ideas from the Back to the Future cartoon series.
Hey, the test subject wears this mind mapping helmet which probes the brain by measuring fluctuations in skin conductance and electrical resistance on the surface of the parietal lobe.
Uh-huh.
Though there are also themes of alcoholism and emotional abuse, so I think it's fair to say that there are some tone issues here.
Was that a flask, Mom?
But that said, there are still some really great moments throughout. I'd say that some of the best moments are actually in the fifth and final episode, though I'm a bit annoyed that in the end we get a bit of a teasy cliffhanger that will probably never be resolved. Though Telltale has been revived, sort of, so I guess you never know.
The future can wait. We've got a present to catch up with.
For anyone used to playing later Telltale games, the gameplay of Back to the Future will feel a bit different. Rather than revolving around decision-making and branching dialogue trees, this game aims to tell a much more linear story, and the focus is heavy on that plot. And so the gameplay is mostly about solving puzzles, with a handful of quick-time events thrown into the mix. Many of these puzzles are really clever and fun to work out. I especially liked an early one where you've got to emotionally manipulate a police officer using the power of music.
Troubles? Buddy, nobody knows the troubles I've seen.
Want to talk about them?
Do I? Do I? Yeah, I do.
Though none of the puzzles are particularly difficult. There's no Braid-like challenges to be had. In fact, there's a built-in hint system, which I honestly didn't need to use more than a few times, and one of those times had to do with a spray paint can not loading into the game properly. It didn't totally break the game, but I did need to find a video online to figure out what I was missing, and it was really the only technical issue I had, aside from general dialogue desync and some screen flickering. So, does Back to the Future the game hold up? Mostly it does, especially for fans of the series. It has a good-looking comic book art style that doesn't seem too dated, and I didn't even mention the voice acting yet. Christopher Lloyd reprises his role as Doc Brown, and Marty McFly is voiced by AJ Locascio, though you'd almost never know that they didn't get Michael J. Fox. It's really that good of an impression.
The suspect in the speakeasy arson case, a drifter known as Carl Sagan, was pulled from his... Carl Sagan? It's Doc!
After beating it once, I don't think there's much replay value to be had in this game, but at 10 hours long, it's a pretty breezy and fun experience. And yeah, what they say is true. It probably is the closest thing to Back to the Future 4 that we'll ever get. Thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know.